The Rise of the Shadow, a Dawood Ibrahim anthology accidental entry into crime in the narrow alleys of Dongri in the 1970s. A young Dawood Ibrahim sat on a crumbling rooftop listening to the shouts below. His father, a righteous police constable, argued fiercely with his superior, an officer deep in the pocket of local smugglers. Dawood watched silently, absorbing the betrayal, the futility. "They say crime is a choice," he would later say. "For me, it was a response." One night, Dawood and his ragtag friends decided to rob a warehouse near the dockyard, believing it was filled with stolen soap and basic goods. But what they stumbled upon was a smuggler's den mid-transaction. Shots rang out. A man dropped. Dawood ran with blood on his shoes and a future in the underworld carved into his skin. A week later, the dead man turned out to be a customs officer on the take. And Dawood? He was on the police radar, but not for long. The same corrupt superior. His father had argued with wiped his name from the file paid off by the very smugglers Dawood had crossed. "We stole soap," he said. "What we got was a war. And in wars you choose, get swallowed or rise." Mastermind behind the blasts, March 12, 1993, Mumbai trembled. A series of 12 coordinated bomb blasts ripped through the city, Stock Exchange, Air India, Zaveri Bazaar. The death toll soared. The world watched in horror. And the Indian intelligence? Community whispered a single name. From his Karachi hideout, Dawood watched the chaos on TV, a faint smirk, no fingerprints. No direct order. But every man involved had once drunk chai with him. His signature was in the coordination, the silence. Before the storm. The message was clear: cross the company and cities burn. "Terror isn't chaos," he once told an associate. "It's choreography." Split in D company power invites rivalry. By the early 2000s, Dawood's trusted aide Chota regime began to drift. Ideological cracks, territorial disputes. A failed hit in Bangkok, then came the betrayal, a warehouse in Kuala Lumpur. Dawood's men ambushed. 2 lieutenants killed. Rajan took credit, declaring open war. The underworld split like a fault line. Assassinations in Dubai, shootouts in Malaysia. Sleeper cells turning rogue. For the first time, Dawood's empire shook. "He knows my secrets," Dawood murmured one night, staring at a bloodied map. "But he forgot I know his nightmares." Gang war aftermath. Mumbai burned again, not with bombs, but bullets. Police scanners lit up with shootouts. Newspapers bled headlines. Innocents caught in crossfire. Dawood retreated, vanishing deeper into the web of false names, remote islands, and encrypted calls. But revenge came like clockwork. Rajan's top men began vanishing. One drowned in a pool. Another died in a car crash no one could explain. Rajan survived. But just barely. The world called it a gang war. Dawood called it housekeeping, attempted. Assassination in 2005, rumors surfaced, a private jet, a sniper in Sharjah. A mole in his own ranks, an attempt was made clean, precise. A shot missed by inches as Dawood stepped into an elevator. 2 men died, the shooter vanished, the aftermath was surgical. 5 suspects dead within a week, bodies burned, faces gone. The source? Never confirmed. D disappeared for months. No calls, no sightings. Then one day a photo surfaced him in Mecca, wrapped in white, untouched. "God forgives," he told a reporter who dared ask. "But I don't." Political ties. You don't rule shadows without friends in the light. From Karachi to Dubai to Delhi, politicians leaned on Dawood's networks for cash, for silence. For elections, a minister's daughter needed funding for her wedding. A retired general wanted to move gold. A rising MP needed rivals erased quietly. Dawood obliged, always at a price. "Don't call me a gangster," he once said, sipping wine. "Call me what I am, a shareholder in power." Hawala expertise. By the 1980s, Dawood had fled to Dubai, but the empire he envisioned needed fuel cash that couldn't be traced. There, in the back rooms of gold markets and tea houses, he learned the language of Hawala. "This isn't money laundering, Beta," an Arab trader told him. "This is invisible currency." Dawood listened, learned, perfected. Soon, he was running routes through Istanbul, Nairobi, London. Briefcases exchanged hands in Karachi, while rupees turned to dollars in Lagos. Politicians in Delhi smiled as their campaigns thrived on black cash. From the Gulf to East Africa, Dawood controlled the veins that fed corruption in one legendary operation. Dawood rerouted $15 million in under 48 hours, using only burner phones, trusted men, and coded paper notes. "You don't need to rob a bank," he said, sipping chai on a Dubai rooftop. "Just own the routes the banks use." But this kind of power drew attention from Interpol, and even CIA. Dawood's face was known, but his hands never left fingerprints. That was his genius. Bollywood connections. In the 1990s, Mumbai glittered under the spell of cinema. Dawood entered the scene not as a fan, but as a financier, a kingmaker. At film parties, the music would stop. When he walked in, actors lowered their eyes. Cameras froze. "That's him," someone would whisper, as champagne trembled in crystal. He backed flops that became hits. Unknown actresses who became stars overnight. But it wasn't always voluntary. A director who refused to cast Dawood's favorite girl was found dangling from his balcony with a note. "This is not suicide. This is bad casting." Film magazines started hinting at the connections. A few brave editors published names and disappeared. One resurfaced in Bangkok, disfigured and silent. "Cinema is power," Dawood often said, "and every star needs a godfather." Art forgery involvement. In the 2000s, Dawood turned to culture, art, prestige, but not through appreciation, through replication. Inside a Dubai penthouse, he examined a forged M.F. Hussein painting with the eye of a critic and the mind of a crook. A wealthy European buyer stood ready, none the wiser. "Art is like truth," Dawood smiled. "If you price it right, even lies sell." His operation was exquisite master forgers trained in Florence and Lahore, frames sourced from dismantled antique. Markets, gallery owners bribed with silence and gold. One day, a Van Gogh replica made its way into a London auction house. Estimated at $14 million, authenticated, sold days later. The real one turned up hidden in a Karachi safe house. Interpol caught wind, but Dawood's trail was cold. Another revenue stream. Another mask of legitimacy. Another slap to the face of law. Cricketing ties. In 1999, during the Cricket World Cup, Dawood sat in a VIP box, dressed in white linen, surrounded by whispers and wager slips. His phone buzzed. Bookmakers waited on his nod. The odds didn't move on skill, they danced to his will. "Everyone bets," he said, eyes on the pitch. "I just fixed the odds." A young cricketer in a hotel room trembled as the phone rang. "One bad shot," the voice said. "Then you're free. Or your sister won't be." The match was lost in the final over. Millions were won elsewhere. Then came the match-fixing scandal. Names leaked. Players fell. A storm of accusations, and yet Dawood's name remained in the shadows. The world knew, but couldn't prove.
The case may be closed, but criminology never sleeps. Like and subscribe join Criminology and step deeper into the dark with us.